Let's go Lions! There's been some news recently that has generated a lot of discussion, and the prospect of a big matchup is on the horizon. But before we get into the big news and the injury report and what it means for our game against the Packers, be sure to hit the like button if you've been a fan for 27 plus years. Now, let's dive into what's going on with our defensive lineup. Okay, so here's the deal. We're heading into Sunday's matchup against Green Bay without a few key defensive players, and there's a good chance we'll be missing a few more. Rookie defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo and running back Sione Vaki are both listed as questionable. Wingo showed up on Thursday's injury report with an ankle issue and was only able to participate in a limited capacity. As for Vaki, he's dealing with a knee issue that's keeping him from being fully active. Unfortunately, those two aren't the only ones out. We already know that linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez and defensive end Josh Paschal will miss the game, along with defensive lineman Broderick Martin, who is in his first week back from IR. So we have some holes to fill this week on defense. And when we look at these injuries, one thing is clear: we're going to need other players to step up, especially as the Packers continue to put pressure on their home turf. For Wingo, this season has been about stepping up and being flexible in his role. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn shared that Wingo was initially brought in for his skills as a quick, penetrating three-technique player, but with all the recent injuries, he's been filling in for multiple spots on the line. Glenn said it best: when you have versatile players like Wingo, you can ask them to do more, and that's what he's done. Wingo has played both an end and an inside linebacker, showing his adaptability. Wingo's strength and agility have been a real asset to this defense, especially when it comes to holding down the point of attack. According to head coach Glenn, the Lions knew Wingo had talent from the moment they drafted him, but seeing him handle the pressure and take on different responsibilities has been a pleasant surprise. Wingo has a 63.1 defensive grade from Pro Football Focus, which is impressive considering he's been thrown into multiple roles. With veterans like Levi Onwuzurike, Alan McNeil, and DJ Reader rotating through the defensive line, Wingo has found his way into the mix and proven he's ready to compete at this level. Aaron Glenn also pointed out that every year, the Lions have rookies step up to the plate, and Wingo is following that trend. Glenn said, "When you have good players, you try to get them on the field as much as you can." That adaptability and resilience have made Wingo a crucial part of our defense this season, and if he's unable to go on Sunday, it will be a big test for the rest of the D-line to pick up the slack. Now, looking at Sione Vaki, he's another rookie whose energy has been great for us. If he can't play, we'll definitely lose some depth and versatility. With our current injury situation, every spot counts, so hopefully he recovers quickly and can join us back on the field soon. Losing guys like Rodriguez and Paschal is tough, especially in a physical game like this. The Packers aren't going to take it easy on us, and they're coming in hot after their recent win. But if there's one thing we know about our Lions, it's that this team finds a way to excel. This will be an all-hands-on-deck type of game, and we'll need every player to bring their best. Alright Lions fans, what do you think of the injury situation? Who do you think will step up in Wingo's absence if he's unable to play? Leave your predictions in the comments. Another hot topic: former NFL GM Mike Tannenbaum went viral today after making one of the boldest and perhaps craziest trade proposals we've heard in quite some time. According to Tannenbaum, the Lions are likely to send 3 first-round picks, rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs, and a second-round pick to the Browns to bring Myles Garrett to Detroit. Yes, you heard that right. 3 first-round picks, Gibbs, and a second-rounder. Tannenbaum says that with Garrett on our defense, the Lions would be a safe bet for the Super Bowl. He's convinced that Garrett's dominant presence on the edge could be the missing piece that takes us to the top. Now, when this trade proposal came up on ESPN's Get Up, the reactions from other analysts were priceless. Dan Graziano couldn't resist joking. Are they going to throw Joe Louis's fist? Are they going to throw the GM building? What else? The bridge to Canada? Tannenbaum defended his position, asking, why wouldn't they win the Super Bowl with Myles Garrett, the way this offense is going? But Graziano wasn't buying it, responding, you could win without him. Tannenbaum's reasoning? He's pointing to our need for strong pass rush, especially with Aiden Hutchinson's recent injury. Tannenbaum believes Garrett could add the pressure we need on the defensive line, even if it costs us Gibbs, who has been a game-changer on offense. He argued that Gibbs, while talented, is replaceable in the bigger picture of a Super Bowl run. But, as expected, not everyone was on board with that idea. Another NFL analyst, Bart Scott, chimed in, saying Tannenbaum's thinking was close, but that he had the wrong player. Scott believes we should focus on signing Browns edge rusher Zadarius Smith instead of Garrett and keep our draft picks and Gibbs. As Scott said, Jahmyr Gibbs is their home run hitter. This is a team that's all about running the ball. Zadarius Smith would be great. You get him for a case of Kool-Aid. Here's the thing, Lions fans, our team is good enough to win right now. Ryan Clark, another analyst, defended our roster, saying, this team is good enough without making that type of change. Giving up Jahmyr Gibbs is giving up part of your offensive identity. Clark believes that our offensive identity is actually what makes us strong contenders. Losing Gibbs might shake that balance and take away from what's working so well for us. Now, let's talk trade alternatives. The NFL trade deadline is right around the corner, Tuesday, November 5th. At 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so the pressure is on for GM Brad Holmes. We've heard whispers and rumors about the Lions possibly making a play for some high-profile edge rushers, given the impact Hutchinson's absence has had on our defensive line. USA Today's Michael Mittelhus-Schwartz recently named Saints edge rusher Chase Young as a potential target for the Lions. Young was a number 2 overall pick back in 2020 and even won the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. While he's had injury issues in the past, he's still shown flashes of his ability to disrupt opposing offenses. If we were able to bring Young over, he could add a solid edge presence and give our defensive line that boost we've been needing. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Since Young has struggled to stay consistent and healthy, the Saints might let him go for a reasonable price, likely around a 5th-round pick. For a player of Young's caliber, that could be a bargain. However, the Lions would need to weigh the risks and rewards. On one hand, Young has shown he can be a playmaker, as evidenced by his 6 pressures against the Panthers in the opener. On the other, his injury history means he might not reach that top form we saw early in his career. But if we can land him on a low-cost deal and work out a long-term extension, he could be a key defensive player alongside Hutchinson for years to come. But here's the catch. Lions fans, the Saints need to be willing to let Young go, and that depends on how they view the rest of their season. With a 6-game losing streak, they're not exactly on solid ground, but they just got Derek Carr back and might still be hoping for a playoff push. If they're still in the hunt, they may hold on to Young to try to make a run. Meanwhile, other names like the Giants' Azeez Ojulari and, yes, Za'Darius Smith keep popping up as options for the Lions to consider. Smith, especially, seems like a strong pick, as he's proven to be a consistent pass rusher without the same level of injury risk as Young. Ojulari is younger and has a ton of potential, but would likely require more in terms of trade capital. At the end of the day, the question becomes this: how much are we willing to give up for a stronger pass rush? Adding Myles Garrett is tempting, no doubt, but giving up Gibbs and multiple first-rounders may be too steep a price for what we're already building. The team is playing well, our offense is clicking, and the chemistry is there. A player like Young or Smith could be exactly what we need without jeopardizing our future and without losing our rising stars on offense. All right, Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Tannenbaum's wild trade idea? Would you be willing to give up Gibbs and 3 first-rounders for Garrett? Or do you think we're better off targeting a more affordable edge rusher like Chase Young or Za'Darius Smith? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss any Lions updates. We're getting close to the trade deadline, and there's a lot more action to come. Let's see what Brad Holmes has up his sleeve. Go Lions!